My voice is clear, or is there any background noise?
It is clear.
Sorry,
It's clear.
it's okay. Okay. So what I'll do is, before I go into the other topics, I'll just try to show you the system. Okay, I'll just show you how exactly SAP system looks like. What are the different functionalities? How are you able to see the different functionalities within the SAP system? And then we will proceed with our other topics. So what I'll do is, first of all, I'll show you the ECC system. Okay, we will see how exactly SAP ECC system looks like. Once we understand it, then I'll tell you what is the difference between the ECC and SAP S4HANA. Okay, and throughout this course, wherever possible, we will understand both ECC as well as SAP S4HANA. Our main system that we'll be using throughout this course is going to be S4HANA. But before we go into the S4HANA in today's session, I'll just give you the glimpse of both the systems. So this is my system, SAP S4HANA 1909. I'm just trying to connect to the system. So in your case, I'll be providing you the system access in few weeks once we are at that stage where you can go and practice on your own. So you can see this is how the SAP logon pad looks like. SAP logon 760. This is nothing but the software. Okay, this is nothing but the software which will be provided to you by your technical team so that you can start working on the SAP system. Okay, and using this SAP logon pad, you can see there are different servers that you can connect to. Okay, so for example, you can see I have both. This EHP7 is nothing but my ECC system, and this is my SAP S4HANA 1909 system. So let me connect to the ECC system first. Now, whenever you connect to SAP system, these are the important parameters that system will ask you. Okay, system will ask you a client, system will ask you your user ID, and system will ask you your password. So all the users who wants to work on this SAP system, it may be the end user, it may be the consultant. If you want to work on this system, definitely you need to have your own user ID and you need to have your own password, right? Client concept, I will explain you later. Just now you understand this client means different servers. Okay, later on when we will see the system in detail, at that time I will tell you what is the concept of clients. So for example, if your technical team has given you the access of client 200, in that case, you will not be able to log in to client 800. Clients are completely independent of each other, right? So it is very important whenever you are logging into the SAP system, you are logging into the correct client because your user ID and passwords are client specific. If your user ID is created in 200, not be able to access it in 800. If your login ID is created in 800, you will not be able to access any other client in this system. Okay, user IDs and passwords, they are normally created by basis team. Yesterday we discussed that there are functional consultants and then there are technical consultants. So creation of users, providing you the passwords, this is the responsibility of basis consultant. Within basis, there is one responsibility area called as security, GRC and security. So GRC and security team, which is part of basis itself, they are responsible to provide you this user IDs and passwords. Okay, and the next one is logon language. So you can see by default it is showing English. EN is English. SAP supports more than 30 languages. Okay, so for example, currently you can see because it is logon language is English when I log in with my user ID and password. So this is my user ID and I'll just enter my password here. Okay, as soon as I enter my user ID and password, system will try to connect me to the system. Okay, if you are already connected, system will tell you that your Vikram is, in our case, this is my user ID, that this user is already logged in. So whether you want to continue this logon or you want to terminate it and use another logon. Okay, this is common. Like even if you are using Gmail, for example, and there is a functionality in Gmail also which can control that if you are already logged in from one place, so whenever you try to log in the second time, system will tell you that your Gmail account is already logged in. So whether you want to terminate the earlier login which is already logged on, or you want to stop this and use the another logon which is already being used. So what will happen is you can see continue with this logon and end any other logons in the system. So what system will do? System will allow me to log in using this screen, and whatever earlier logon is already being used, that will be ended. Or the second option is terminate this logon, which means, okay, if I know that it is already logged on, let the other logon continue and I will terminate this. So in my case, I'm saying continue with this logon and terminate if it is already open somewhere. You will get this message that your old logon has been ended. You can see backend session closed by the system. Okay, anyways, this error you will not get every time, but only if your system is already logged in. Now, once you log in into the system, you can see this is called as SAP Easy Access screen. This is a screen that is given to your end users. Your end users will be able to see SAP Easy Access. In SAP Easy Access, you can see there are different functions which can be performed by your end users. Okay, so for example, you can see logistics, you can see accounting, you can see HR. These are the three important groups for all the modules in SAP. Okay, so for example, if you open logistics, your materials management, sales and distribution, production, plant maintenance, quality management, project system. So these are all the functionalities which are part of logistics. So if you are learning materials management, you are learning part of the logistics module in SAP, or part of the logistics module group. We can say these are the groups: logistics, accounting, and human resources. These are the module groups, and within this module groups, you can see there are different modules. So either you are learning materials management, or you are using sales and distribution, or you are a production consultant, or you are a plant maintenance consultant. So these are the all those modules you will be able to see here. So if I'm a user, if I'm an end user, and if I am responsible for MM related transactions, then I will go to this materials management. Within materials management, I can do purchasing, I can do inventory management, I can do the material valuation, I can buy the service from the other, I can create a purchase order for the services. Okay, I can create the material master. So if I am a user from this department, from materials management department, these are the activities that I would be interested in. Okay, within purchasing, you'll be able to see you can create a purchase requisition, you can create a purchase order, you can create a quotation. So all those things relevant to materials management, in short, you will find under the materials management module. Same way, if you go to sales and distribution, these are all the activities that you can perform if you are a part of the sales team. Okay, so for example, you can create an inquiry whenever a customer comes to you and is inquiring about a particular product. You can enter that inquiry in the system. You can give the quotation to the customer. Okay, once the quotation is confirmed, you can once the customer has given you the order, you can go for sales order. Okay, later on you will uh, give the delivery to the customer, and finally the billing will be created for the customer. So those things are related to sales. Similarly, if you are coming from production, if you are a production user, you will go to this production folder, and all the activities related to the production will be available in this folder. Right? So in this way, as I told you, these are the different module groups. Within finance, if you go, within accounting, if you go, you'll be able to see financial accounting, controlling, FSCM, Okay, so again, when we are talking about finance and controlling, within that also we have different modules. Even finance and controlling are two different modules. You can see FI, this is financial accounting, and controlling, this is another module. FSCM is a third module. Okay, real estate management is a fourth module. Banking applications is a fifth module. Public sector management again is a module. So it is not like a single consultant will be able to handle all these requirements. These are all the niche areas. Okay, it is very much practical possible that even if I have 10, 15 years of experience, I'm only comfortable with financial accounting, but I am expert in that. Okay, so maybe I'm not knowing controlling, I'm not knowing FSCM, but one area I picked up and I became the expert on that. That is completely fine. If you have multiple module knowledge after 10 years, that is definitely the advantage. But being the expert on one area is very important, right? So within accounting, as I told you, you have financial accounting, you have controlling, you have FSCM. These are some of the examples of the accounting module group. Then you have HR. Within HR, you have personal management, you have time management, you have payroll, learning solutions, training and event management. So these are all those activities which are normally performed by the HR department end users in SAP. Okay, so just remember there are basically three different groups: logistics, accounting, and human resources. These are the three important groups within which all the functional modules are grouped. You name any functional module, it would be either the logistics module, or it would be the accounting module, or it would be the part of human resource group. Okay, so once you log in into the SAP system, as I told you, you will be able to see this SAP Easy Access. This SAP Easy Access, just remember, this is a folder or this is a screen that is normally visible to your end users, and end users are supposed to do these transactions. As a consultant, you will be also able to see this screen whenever you log in. As a consultant also, you will be taken to SAP Easy Access itself. But normally, you are not supposed to use any of these functions in the production system. Okay, again, I'll take the same example that I gave you yesterday. Yesterday, I told you the difference between the end user and the consultant. I gave you the example of the TV. You bought a TV, and then the expert came to your home and he has set up the TV, and finally he has provided you the training how to use that TV. So once the setup is done, will you like if a person sits on your sofa and watch a TV? The expert who came to install the TV, once the installation is done, now it is whose responsibility to enjoy the system? Consultant was outsider, right? Consultant responsibility was to set up the system so that you start using it. You don't want the consultant to start using the system. It is not consultant's responsibility to use the system on day-to-day basis. Consultant is not an accountant. Consultant is not a purchaser. He is not a salesperson. So his responsibility is help the salesperson, help the purchaser, help the accountant to carry out their day-to-day transactions rather than doing the transactions on their own. So if you are a consultant, it is not your responsibility to enter all these things in the system. You are not going to post any accounting document. You are not going to create any sales order. You are not going to create any purchase order because that is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to help the purchasing team so that they are not getting any error when they are trying to create a purchase order, when they are trying to create a sales order. Okay, so normally this SAP Easy Access screen is only accessible to the end users. As a consultant, most of the time, what you will be doing as a consultant is you will be using this transaction called as SPRO. Okay, just remember SPRO. What exactly is SPRO?